Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, ladies.
When you've done the work, you want your hydration to do the same. Introducing new Gatorade Lower Sugar, now with no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. And 75% less sugar and all the electrolytes of regular Gatorade, now available nationwide.
Hello, and welcome back to the Psychological Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are back with PolyFamily, Season 1, Episode 2, Polly Wants a Baby. So before we start, I don't know if you looked at our Instagram, but people are kind of disgusted by the show. the excitement, I don't know. I was like, oh, I love this show. This is great. I've never seen anything like this before. But I think that it seems to be turning some people off.
Yeah, it's not quite what I expected. I don't know what I expected. I guess I expected these people to be, for lack of a better term, a little more normal. No, I know this sounds very judgy, but you know what? Look, I'm more conservative than I thought I was, apparently, about certain things. And I don't know, there's just, what bothers me? There's an agenda. There's a real agenda. And I don't know, have you checked out their TikTok channel?
Okay, so they're TikTokers, not YouTubers. Or
no, they might have a YouTube, but okay. I only know them from TikTok. So if you go to their TikTok, the name of the channel or whatever you call it, I don't even know what to call these things. It's PolyFamily.
Okay, I have to check that out. PolyFamily.
They only have like 206,000 followers.
Well, that's not bad.
But okay, so the ringleader is Taya. Okay,
that I can see.
They have been doing this for a long time. I don't know how many videos they have on there. I don't know how you can tell. But I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's just hundreds of them.
But what are the videos about? Like, this is how we parent. This is how we do this. Like the dynamics.
A lot of them are her. She likes to. I mean, it's all about her talking about polyamory. Mm-hmm. They do like goofy things, like the TikTok,
like dances. Like mom talk?
Different trends, the trends of videos and, just trying to keep up with what's out there. It's a lot of silly stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of just shoving polyamory down our throats. I mean, and like she looks very different. In the television show, she looks much different than on these videos. She wears this ring, septum, nose ring, and her hair is like pink and purple and different colors. And she seems a lot more out there, like she's maybe toning it down for TV. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just find them strange. And yeah, I'm not enjoying it in the way that I thought I was going to.
Oh, well, I'm enjoying it in the sense of this. There's a little bit of this feeling of, and I wrote this down before the blood test issue came out with this episode. I wrote this down because I said, it does, the paternity does matter. It does matter to you all. Stop telling us that it doesn't matter. Stop telling us that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, and then saying this thing over here. There's a bit of this. I always feel like there's always like, well, no, of course there's no jealousy. And of course there's none of this. And of course there's none of that. And it's like, yes, there is. There is. And yes, everyone is fighting for their place in this. Everyone is fighting to be seen and heard in this. And I'm not saying that that's not what happens in like traditional marriages. You know, one partner starts, you know, kind of checking out of the marriage. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. But everything is 20 times more complicated than it needs to be. And I don't know. I guess I come from this place of, why would you want to do this with people that you're not 100% like, I really love these people and I trust them. I trust them. Because obviously Sean and Tyler don't trust each other.
Yeah. And there were some things that were said throughout this episode that to me were really big red flags. And it's true. It's like they're trying to force us to believe that this is so much better than it is. And there isn't any trust, because Tyler says, I think this was when he was talking with his sister about, and it comes up in the next episode too, I think, about how he doesn't have any legal rights to these children that now he knows one of them is his biological child. But by law, because Sean and Taya are married, you know, Sean is on the birth certificate.
Yes.
And
now.
then,
Sorry.
Oh, and then also Sean said something about how, what did he say? He said when he was kind of complaining about Tyler and how I wish I had $1 every time they say, well, Sean and Tyler really aren't in the best place. And, you know, they really don't get along. And then Sean said something about how, well, you know, Taya and I have wanted children for a long time, and this is what we want. And, you know, this is important to us. And I'm thinking, okay, did you just hook up with this couple because like Sean is infertile? Or
that's my theory too, because he is a ginger. And Alicia's, both of those two little boys, Barrett and I forgot the other kid's name. They're both like Carver and Barrett. Those two little boys both have dark hair. And I mean, Alicia's blonde. Because if Alysia and Sean had a baby together, that kid would be so blonde. So blonde. So right. So fair. I'm looking at all these kids. I think Tyler's fathered all of them. But what I was going to say is I was thinking, well, Brooke, this might be like a really good, you know, new niche for an attorney, right? Like dealing with these poly families. And how do you then like if they break up, how do you deal with that? Polyfamily divorces.
Yeah, we need polyfamily law, you know.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, we need some, because and that's another thing that bothers me is that they're really flippant about things that are really a big issue. And I'm sorry, like, yes, like you said, paternity does matter, and it's going to matter to these children. You know, they're going to end up at some point questioning, you know, who, I mean, it's just, I don't like that they're involving children in this and making it, I don't know. And then Taya, oh man, she's really something. I don't know what to say about her, but she's very manipulative and controlling. And it's like what Taya wants, Taya gets. Now Taya wants a girlfriend. I think she wants Alysia. I think they're already girlfriends, because when I was looking on TikTok, there were videos of the two of them. And okay, so Taya calls Alysia she has this name for her. I got to Google what this means. Metamor. And I'm like, okay, is this some sort of poly term? Let's see. Metamor, M-O-U-R, meaning. Okay, so, this says a partner of your polyamorous partner, a non-romantic friend that you have a romantic and or sexual partner in common with. Okay, I think there's more to it than that. And Taya comes out and she says she wants to something's missing in her life. She thinks she wants a woman.
Yeah.
And she'll get it. And I think she wants Alysia. They can't possibly bring another person into this.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Taya wanted to. I wouldn't be surprised, but probably, I mean, it is complicated. All of this is really, really complicated. I absolutely agree with you about the paternity. The thing is, they're acting a little bit like we don't ever want to know the paternity. And I'm sorry, but there is at some point, one of these kids might have to have a blood transfusion or an operation or something. And, paternity will matter. And so you're really banking on the fact that these 3 children are never gonna, you know what I mean? These 3 children are, nothing's gonna happen. They're never gonna hit a wall. Not one of them's ever gonna want to know who the father is.
Yeah.
And I think it's very naive. I think that's the other part of it too, is there's this feeling with them of, look at us, we have this new, cool, sophisticated lifestyle. But it's like, no, you guys are being very naive. You know? I don't know.
And there's this outward hostility between Sean and Tyler that seems like it's always been there. And is that really ever going to get better?
No, I mean, they don't like each other.
They don't like each other. So that's the same thing as like just a monogamous couple being married and not liking each other. That's not good either. That's not good for kids. These kids already, I'm sure, the older ones, sense this tension between the two of them.
Yeah.
I don't see anything positive in this.
All right, well, let's start.
Okay. Let's start.
This is the one where Taya goes to the hospital and everybody's there. And this is another thing that was bugging me, was there's all this talk, and I know that they, ask them these questions and they have to respond, but it's like Taya keeps talking about, I'm worried that someone in the hospital, or the hospital, she keeps saying the hospital, the hospital is going to be prejudiced against polygamy, and, this is polyamory, sorry. That they'll be, biased against it. And so that's what she's really worried about. And there's a little bit of like, I'm sorry, but I don't think some doctor or nurse is that they care that much about poly, whatever, that they're going to be like, oh, this is a disgusting lifestyle. You two need to leave. It's like, no, they're professionals. They're going to let whomever's going to come into the room based on what the rules are and what makes sense. And, whatever the standard is, that's what they're going to go with.
Yeah. And, what is it with these? And Cody Brown does the same thing with polygamy. Like, oh, I'm so discriminated against. I'm the most discriminated against, group in the country. And it's like, please, slow down.
Yeah.
And I think with Taya, like, I think she just wants to feel special and different. And she likes the fact that, or she likes us to think that, she could maybe be discriminated against because, oh, poor you, again, it's not that big of a deal, Taya. They don't care. They're just, this is their job. They're at work.
Yeah. And
they just want to deliver a healthy baby and move on,
But whatever their feelings are, people might have their biases, people might have their feelings, but they're also a professional. They're going to, they're going to do their jobs. A doctor's going to risk their license,
right?
And their reputation in the hospital because they're upset with this lifestyle. Like, it just makes no sense. I don't know. But anyway, Quintin is born 9 pounds, 2 ounces, and he has a ton of dark hair. Now, the minute I saw Quintin, I'm like, oh, that's Tyler's kid. I mean, wasn't it kind of obvious?
Yeah. Although, babies, they change, they come out looking one way and they do change sometimes. But I mean, I'm convinced that these are all Tyler's babies.
I think Tyler is the father. Yeah. Like I said, I think he's the father of all of them. I think that, right, babies normally, and we talked about this before, babies tend to look like fathers when they're first born.
Mm-hmm.
That is very common. I know that's like in the animal world, so the father won't eat them or hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the same. And, so I'm just saying. And then the next section is all about Taya and her milk, and her milk hasn't come in, and she's worried about the baby's weight, and this is happening and that's happening. And then we go right back to the Tyler and Sean stuff about not getting along. And here they're like, they're not getting along. We don't care about paternity. And then Tyler's like, well, Quintin has a cowlick and he has dimples, which I have. And I'm like, then you do care.
You do care.
Fucking care. And maybe you cared, but you care enough that you're going to say something about it to the camera. Like, you had a choice.
On episode 2.
Yes.
I mean, we're coming out the gate hot here with the kids look like me,
Yeah.
And then he inadvertently, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Blood type.
But then that's what Tyler says. And then we have an interview with Sean. And I think Sean's again like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm like, yeah, because you are also noticing this kid doesn't look like you. It does matter. Stop saying it doesn't matter. It matters. It really does. Yeah. So Alicia's unsure about her role. So she has a great idea. Is this part? Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, she feels left out.
She feels left out. No. First, Tyler and Alysia have to go shopping. Now, again, I just like to say, she talks about how she enjoys shopping with Tyler, that he's fun and, but because Sean's more no nonsense. And I'm like, but last episode you said you enjoy shopping with Sean because he is no nonsense. And you both are people. I'm like, which one is it?
She likes everyone, I guess.
She just wants someone to shop with, I guess. Yeah. She doesn't care.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So then, she's feeling left out because she and Taya had their last baby so close together. So she was still involved in caring for her baby. And so she gets this idea as a way to, be involved and bond with Quintin, that she wants to start breastfeeding. And I was like, what? And she said she hasn't breastfed in 1.5 years. So I Googled this.
Oh, you did? But really quickly. So when I first heard her say that, I was like, okay, well, how long ago did she have her son? Because some people breastfeed their kids till 3 or 4, right? Like till whatever. And I was thinking, oh, then maybe she probably just stopped breastfeeding a couple months ago. And then when she was like, oh, well, I was a year and a half ago, 18 months. That was a long time.
Yeah. And
all right. So sorry, you Googled this. I
Googled this, and this is true. It's called relactation.
Okay.
And so sometimes I guess you have a better chance of this working if it's only been a couple months. Okay. I'm sure there are cases that are longer where people have been successful, but it's basically like, you do a lot of like massaging and like, probably even having the baby just suck on the boob, just to kind of get it stimulated. And so you do that a lot, and over a period of time, sometimes it will stimulate milk, but I still don't understand that because, I thought that the breast milk was stimulated by the hormones that are released after you give birth. Well, if you don't have those hormones in your body anymore, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lactation expert, but I've never really heard of this before.
But I also kind of feel like it feels like this is an immediate need, and it's going to take a while for Alysia to kind of get up and running a little bit. And I wonder if by the time if she's successful, will Taya still need her? Then are you going to have too much milk?
Yeah. Kid might be on the bottle by then, or eating solid foods. I don't know.
I'm with her. This breastfeeding thing is and I don't know what your experience was in the hospital, but it was really interesting, when I had Max and I breastfed him, but how how much pressure is put on you to breastfeed and how each nurse had their own, I will say this is one thing, each nurse had their own feeling about it, right? And so there were some that like wouldn't give you any formula at all and like, no, you need to produce it. And then the next shift, this nurse would come in and she'd be like, oh, here, let me give you some formula. You know, I mean, it was just, it didn't feel like you were making the decision. It was like who was ever the nurse controls what's happening. And I don't think it's a terrible thing for her to get a little formula and supplement if they're worried about his weight. Like, you still breastfeed and he'll latch on, he'll get there. But
in the meantime, let him have, it needs nutrition. Yeah, it's not all or nothing. It's not black or white. And when Layla was born, it was like Memorial Day weekend, and there was no lactation people there. You know what I mean? Like there was nobody. Again, they had in the hospital room the little, Enfamil, like little teeny tiny bottles, which they give the hospitals. They give it out. It's like drugs. They give you diapers. They give you these companies. They give you the stuff so you'll just keep using it. And so I can't remember it was a long weekend of really trying and nobody being there, and eventually figured it out once I got home and whatnot. But
it took me, like, it wasn't completely natural. I think that's the other thing too, that it doesn't happen right away. And so it took me a little bit to get it. And of course, looking back, it was all I was consumed with, but it was probably like a week and a half of being consumed with this one thing. And then, once Max latched on, he hasn't latched off. Trust me, he'd still be there if he could. So, anywho, but this is what bugged me about Sean's reaction to this. It's like, Alicia's sharing something with you. Tyler, again, this is a little bit of this differences with Tyler and Sean. Tyler goes, cool. Tyler's on board. No questions, no nothing. Sounds great. You do that. Sean immediately goes, well, that's weird. And starts judging it, like prejudging it. That's weird. And basically sort of saying, well, that's gross or weird, and it's a little bit like, isn't this your girlfriend? She's sharing something. Why are you shutting her down right away? I don't know. His reaction, he's like a bull in a china shop, and he's questioning Alicia's decisions or her thoughts. Like, she hasn't even done anything yet. She's just talking about it out loud. Why do you have to be so rude? That's
very negative. Yeah. And that's the thing. Tyler is the opposite. He's like, yeah, cool. Okay. So I can see why, Taya is attracted to, Tyler. I don't even know what the attraction is with Sean. He seems to be,
I don't know. I think
real downer.
I think that she met him when she was very young. I think he probably maybe came in and took control of her life, and maybe she wanted that at the time. And so she married him, and now she's a couple years into the marriage, and she's like, oh, I can't stand this controlling guy. I need to find someone else.
I need someone to be nicer. Yeah. Well, someone pointed this out. I didn't pick up on this, but someone pointed out that, when last week when he was shaving her legs before she went into the hospital, she was wearing like this ring around her ankle that it looked like a real thick bracelet, but it didn't look really like a piece of jewelry. It was very plain looking. Well, so people online are saying that that's something that people who are, submissive people in a BDSM relationship, they wear that as I guess, just sort of to advertise like they're submissive. And maybe that's what she likes, that domineering thing with him. I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch, but
maybe she likes the domineering Sean one night, and the next night she gets casual Tyler, and then the next night she gets this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know anything. Please don't try to correct me about any of this. I'm just reporting what I saw online. I don't know anything about any of this. But, both couples were part of the swinging community. This isn't their first rodeo.
Yeah.
And they've been doing this. And so it just seems odd to me that they ended up with each other, and I guess they're sticking it out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just so annoyed by him, and that just so rude and just dismissive. You might think it's odd or weird, but you keep that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you ask questions. He's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the other thing about Sean that just irritates me. It's just a little bit of like, you just know that he never asks anybody any questions, that he's always like this with everything. Like, he has to share his opinion on everything. And he believes that what he sees is real and the truth, and only he's right. He's one of these people.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't stand. Anyway.
Now, when Alysia and Tyler were shopping, is this where they had the store clerk?
Yes, a la Sister Wives. Yes.
That's another thing they do in this show. Everywhere they go, they have to announce that they're a polyamorous family. And what do you think of that? And have you ever met a polyamorous family? So they announced this to the store clerk, and she goes, "Oh, cute."
Listen, they came to her and said, "Look, we'll pay you to use your store and we'll advertise, but you have to walk over and ask these people this question, and then we'll interview you after."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's how it works for each. I think it's like a Sister Wives thing. Same idea.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, that was really weird. Oh, and the other thing that they mentioned earlier on was how Quintin is their last child, because both men got vasectomies when Taya was pregnant. And there's a part I was like thinking to myself, "Ooh, Sean, you went all through that for nothing, didn't you?"
Yeah. I mean, that I thought was strange. Like, that's, first of all, well, Tyler's still young, and Sean is still young. He could still have children in theory. What, again, I have a feeling that this was Taya's idea. I don't know. I just feel like everything comes from her. I don't feel like anyone has really any decision-making power. That's just my gut feeling with her. But yeah, why? That seems very dramatic. And also, I don't think that while you're in the throes of, being pregnant and having children, is that really a time to make that decision? Or maybe should you wait and
I
see
think
how you feel?
Again, I know that you can get these things reversed, but like, I just
not always.
Yeah, and I just feel like you really have to be so sure. And that also kind of was a little bit like, and they're all like, "Okay, this is plenty, 5 kids." I'm like, no. You're all acting like you have rights to all of these children. You don't. So
Sean
maybe 2 kids.
Sean could end up with no rights to,
he's on the birth certificate though. So
yeah, but if they do, you can establish, I don't know what the laws are in Oregon, but I mean, in California, even if you're on the birth certificate, someone else can establish paternity in different ways, through DNA, through holding the child out to the world as your own, to supporting them, there's ways around it. So, yeah. Psych Legal Pop will be right back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellows wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. Well, they're having the sip and see.
Mm-hmm.
And Taya's family's there. And Tyler's sister is there. And Alysia has some cousins. And Sean has people from work. Which, again, where's Sean's family? Like, he's a bit of a mystery, too. Because we don't know any of his family members. And he hasn't even really talked about, like, his family and who's been accepting or not. We've only heard it from Alysia and Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyhow. But
the party was kind of boring.
Yeah, one of the coworkers comes right out and asks about paternity, because I think she, too, was like, oh, this has got to be Tyler's, right? And again, we go through this whole thing.
Someone made a comment about her just coming out and saying that. It was probably Sean. Like, who just comes out and says that? And it's like, everyone who's watching this show is wondering, you know, I don't know.
But Taya's like, well, I appreciate her just asking as opposed to, you know, over in the corner gossiping. But it's like, okay. But so you don't care about paternity, but it's okay to ask you. You don't want people to talk about it. Right. Like, just tell us what you want, people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what you know, it feels a little bit like they're making it up as they go along. Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. But anyway, so is this the part where it's Sean and Alicia's night, and so she starts pumping, and Sean is really struggling with the massaging and what to do. Again, super judgy,
He's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He does not like this idea at all.
No, he doesn't.
And I don't know why. Like, I don't know. On the one hand, Sean thinks that so many things are dumb or weird or whatever. But then on the other hand, it's like, dude, but you're involved in this very unconventional relationship. So who are you to call anything weird?
Well, and also it's her body. It's her body. So how is this hurting you in any way, shape, or form? How is this affecting your life at all? Not at all. And you should be grateful she wants you to massage her boob. You know what I mean? Like, be grateful for that. A lot of people
would be very flattered to be asked.
Yes. I bet you Tyler will.
Oh, Tyler, he'd be in there in a minute. He'd be like getting that milk going.
Oh, yeah. But
I don't know. Sean, every time I see him, I'm just like, wow.
I just want to punch him. I really just want to punch him.
He just brings the mood down.
Yeah. So, but Alysia, she saw the consultant, so she's trying to pump. But so Taya and Tyler went to the doctor with Quintin, and he's hitting all of his milestones.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where things get really messy. And I swear to God, all parties are guilty in this. I just want to say, no one would have known. This blood type thing would not have been an issue if Sean didn't look it up. Because here's the thing. Tyler was like, okay, he's this many pounds, he's this many inches, and his blood type is O negative.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, boom, boom. Okay. They all agree that they did not know that knowing the blood type would tell them something about paternity until Sean then looks that up. I thought
maybe he already knew. Maybe he already knew that, because he said someone who has type B cannot have a child who's O negative or something. So maybe he already knew his blood type. He didn't have to look it up.
I feel like and please correct me if I'm wrong. I really thought I heard him say, later on he said this, where he said, and I looked it up, and I read, he said something like, and then I read, blah, 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 blah.
But wait, what? Okay. I thought Tyler was the one who made that comment, like, now we know who the father is. Or was Tyler just the one who posted the info?
Tyler's the one. No. Yes. Tyler is the one that posted the info. It was Sean. So this is what happened. Tyler and Taya go to the appointment. They text the group chat, the quad, and says, "Oh, negative." Okay. Then Sean sees that. I believe that he then looked it up to see what was going on. And maybe he had a little bit of an inkling, like, wait a second, I don't know if this is going to, now I know something, I'm going to research it. And then afterwards, he then only texted Taya, to say, well, I guess we know who the father is now.
So how did Sean find out that he said that? If he only texted Taya?
What do you mean? No. Sean's the one that said it. Sean said, we know who the father is now.
Oh, confusing.
So, okay. So maybe he
had a suspicion.
If you again, you both said that it doesn't matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course, Sean is so paranoid. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Tyler's, did it on purpose. I don't know. But Sean now feels like he did this on purpose. Like he did this as a way of, whether it was conscious or unconscious. And I don't know. I mean, Tyler seems really doofy and kooky. And so I don't think he did it on purpose, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think Tyler thought that many steps ahead. You know what I mean? I don't think he thought, oh, well, I better like redact this part where it shows or leave it out. Or I don't know if it looked like a screenshot of a report or something. Anyway, he's not thinking, he doesn't think that far ahead.
But Sean gets this information about the blood type. Again, you keep telling us you don't care. And you're a family and you make family decisions together, but you then send a text message to Taya. And we learn later that he was with Alysia at the time where he learned the news.
Yeah, and didn't even say anything to her. So what's going on there? I don't know. So it becomes a whole thing where, so now Taya has to go to Tyler and say, hey, you sent this message. Sean, the blood types don't match. Sean knows that you're the father. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what are we going to, it was almost kind of like, oh God, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was next scene, on to the next thing. And the whole time I was thinking, are they going to tell Alysia? That seems weird. Wouldn't that be wrong? Not to tell her what's going on? Like they all have the secret now.
Right. No, they shouldn't keep it from her. And, I'm kind of wondering if this is even real or if this is just a setup or I don't know. It just seemed a little bit too well orchestrated or too many things had to happen for this all to turn out this way. And that we just happened to catch her getting this text and you know what I mean? It seems kind of contrived.
You think that they made it all up for this? Or do you feel or maybe they knew about
I think they already maybe they already knew, they found out for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't really trust these people. I'm very skeptical of them.
Well,
so of course, everything they do, I'm kind of like, is this real?
Yeah. Well,
or is this just for attention?
Tyler does say, because he's like, I didn't realize what I was doing. And then he makes a comment to the effect of, well, maybe there's a deep primal part of me that is happy. And it's like, okay, now you're admitting that this is what you want. You all care about paternity. You all care about paternity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we don't have time for that right now because it's time to go to NW Fit, which I believe is Northwest Fit, for dodgeball. And he said, our community is doing dodgeball for kids. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this must be the poly community. But no, it's not.
Or is it just like where they live?
I guess. Then I'm like, what community are we talking about?
I think it's maybe just where they live.
It must have been
their friend group. I don't know.
Well, not their friend group though, because there are other people there that were like, no, we didn't, again, they had to introduce themselves and explain this lifestyle and all that. And those two people they interviewed.
Oh yeah. Those two poor people who had to answer the question about whether or not they would ever be in a polygamous relationship. And it's like, the answer is always no. just like polygamy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I have this feeling we're going to get a bunch of like hate comments from the polygamy, from the polyamorous,
from the polyamory community. Listen, I am not against however people want to live. I am down for it. But if you film a TV show, then part of it is, it's people are going to comment on it. And you guys want to be public. You want to be public.
Oh, very much so.
You very much want to share all of this with us. And this is just my honest perception of what I am seeing. And you're absolutely right. Right out of the gate, episode 2, we're already, episode 1, there was an issue. I mean, so if they're finding this issue very quickly, that means that this has been a huge issue all along.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we all know this from seeing Christine and the Robin stuff, right? From episode 1 for Sister Wives.
Yeah, and these people have been together for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like a 2.5-year-old. So, I mean, they've known each other at least 3.5.
Yeah, it's been about 4 years, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Anywho, they're playing dodgeball. Sean really likes throwing that ball. He's like aiming for.
Oh, he's trying
Tyler.
to take people. People are getting injured.
Well, the other thing too is you saw the shirt that Tyler wore, which is like it's a kind of an AC/DC shirt, but it says DA/DA data shirt. And I'm with Sean on this. Like, this just happened.
Right.
That's the shirt you're going to wear.
It was
tonight?
shady.
It was super shady. I'm sorry. That was very shady. So, and then this whole time I'm like, poor Alicia's wandering around this dodgeball court. Like, what's going on? What's happening? All of these things. I don't know.
Yeah. And something else I noticed is that, okay, so like the couples, they'll call the other, like Taya will call Tyler her boyfriend, and like he'll call her his girlfriend, but I thought you guys were all like a unit. So to say, oh, well, this is my husband and this is my boyfriend, I don't know. That seemed inconsistent to me, but they said that a lot in this episode. Like,
I don't know. I think you just have to have a label for it, right? I mean, how do you explain? How do you then what would Alysia be to Sean?
Just her partner.
Well, I guess you could say that.
One of her partners.
We're all partners, or maybe nobody is written. No, but see, here's the other part of it too. Is right, like there is a legal issue, which is you guys are both legally married to this other person, and so I don't know. You, as much as you want things to be different, unfortunately, the way this world is structured, maybe you guys shouldn't have ever gotten married. I don't know. So,
yeah, they're trying real hard. They're trying real hard to be different, and I don't know. Underneath it all, it just reminds me so much of, the polygamy stuff where they're like, oh yeah, we don't get jealous. And, sometimes I might get a little jealous, but then I just, I just have to tamper that down. And, and it turns out, no, it's actually a really big issue.
Yes.
And nobody likes it and nobody's okay with it. But, they're being forced to say that, it's not a problem. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, I really feel like they all want the best of both worlds. They want, right? Because any partner you pick, I don't know if I said this last week, but any partner you pick, right? There are certain things that you're giving up. And I'm sure for Alysia that it's nice to have Sean because he's very grounded like she is. And, Tyler's, much more all over the place and, woo, okay, cool, all of those things. And so, yes, when you think about it in that way of like, oh, okay, this person fulfills these needs, this person fulfills these needs. But the problem is these legal issues. The problem is that there is jealousy in all of these things, that these things are always going to show up.
It's just reality.
And marriage is hard enough with one person, but I don't know. Anyway. So Sean takes the boys home. He's moping around after he, threw that ball as hard as he could at Tyler a million times. He goes off into the corner and he's like, I'm watching the boys. And so he takes the boys home. Now, this, I thought, I'm with you on this completely about Taya being manipulative, because Taya's sitting there and all of a sudden Alysia comes and sits down next to her and says, I don't know, something's going on with Sean. What's going on? And Alysia says it to her as if it was like, oh, Sean stubbed his toe earlier today. Mm-hmm. It was like, then she reveals, well, Tyler sent the blood thing and then this happened. And then now we figured this out. And like, wow, you're just acting super cash about all of this. Like, this is important information that she deserved to know. And you're just sort of slipping it into a conversation. And then Alicia's blindsided. Because then Alysia starts putting two and two together going, oh, wait a second. I was with him. He didn't say anything to me. His inclination was to go to write to Taya and text her, which I'm sure really was very hurtful for Alysia. Like, why isn't he talking to me? Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah, well, it's trouble in paradise.
Yes. And then, I don't know who said this, uncharted territory. Not sure. Something about like, oh, we're in uncharted territory now. I don't know. I mean, anywho.
So next week, Taya announces that she wants a girlfriend.
Yes. Well,
That's
first it's her birthday.
Her life.
And they all go on this yacht tub.
Yeah, that looked weird.
And then Tyler's sister is upset and she's having conversations with Tyler, which makes sense. And then we see this final scene where Tyler and Sean go to dinner together and it's not good at all. Not good.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyhow.
Well,
what a show. I still find it utterly fascinating, but you're right. I think it's a combination of things. I think it's watching Sister Wives and knowing what the truth is and what they told us season 1 versus what reality is. That makes you feel skeptical. The fact that you are saying one thing and then having these other feelings, it just skeptical. And that other thing of didn't feel like this was a natural thing you wanted to do, or you wanted to share your lifestyle with people because you're already on TikTok. You're already an influencer in a way.
Yeah. I don't think Sean would be doing this at all if he and Taya could have had children together. He's clearly in it just to have children. He said as much during this show. Taya just wants, she rules this family. She makes them do stupid videos on TikTok. And I mean, it's become, I think, it's a source of income. They have full on ads where, the creators do an ad. So she's got like her and her mom going to some spa and they're talking about it. And, I mean, she's all in on this.
Yeah.
And now she's got them this TV show. And I just feel like she runs everything. She gets what she wants. Tyler, he's just easy going. He's just loving it. He's got like these 2 women. I don't know what's in it for Alysia, but
I think that the drivers of this are Taya and Tyler. I think they are the ones that are really in love and really like each other. And I think that, Sean and Alysia are coming along for the ride. And I think that Sean and Alysia maybe just figured out how to be attracted to each other. Because they are. Because you don't see a lot of chemistry between them.
No.
When they were grocery shopping last time, it was just a little bit like, oh, there's nothing there.
No.
Not like Taya and Tyler. I'm telling you that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll keep watching.
See. Yeah. Do we know how many episodes there are? Like, is this because usually a first season they'll only do like 6 or 8 or
6 or 8,
whatever it is. But
well, yeah, one of the things Taya said on one of these TikToks was that she was talking about that she and Sean were inspired by the throuple on the show Shameless. Did you ever watch Shameless?
Yes, and there was a throuple.
Kevin and
his wife. I forgot her name.
I forget her name. And then was it another man or another woman?
Another woman. This woman who's Russian.
Oh yeah. And so, she turned out to be kind of crazy.
Well, but again, that's a fictional show.
Yeah, that's a TV show.
And the whole point of Shameless was always a little bit like this was this bizarre, like
it was
kooky family.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah,
that had no boundaries and they were all over the place, and that these were their friends next door, and you know, and then I think it didn't even last. You know, I don't know if the relationship did the relationship last.
No, because I think the woman got a little cuckoo, and no, it did not last. But yeah, you should not base your lifestyle on Shameless or anything you see on Shameless or most on TV for that matter,
or anything fictional. You know what I mean? Anything that someone created.
Yeah.
No. I think that Taya wants to have an interesting lifestyle, and I think Alysia is desperate for attention from someone, anyone. She does not care, and so which is why I think she wants to breastfeed.
Yeah, she wants someone to pay attention to her. She wants a baby to need her.
Oh, well, one of the other things, I don't know if Alysia said this or Taya said this, but one of them did indicate with Carver and Barrett that each boy is very attached to their mom, the one who fed them and gave birth to them. And so that's the other part of it too, is there's a little bit of this, some things you just can't pretend. You just can't pretend like that. That these feelings or these connections, these attachments aren't real.
Yeah, we're animals. Or it's biology. Yeah, I mean, of course, obviously. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, please don't.
Yes, please don't hate on us.
Please don't hate on us.
We will go to a spa. We will go to a spa for an ad if anyone wants to do it. We'll do that.
Yeah. And again, I don't, people can live whatever lifestyle they want to. I do worry about the children and the effect that this has on them. And I don't know how you minimize, but being secretive about paternity, I don't think is a good way to go.
No. And especially like the other thing too is, they've got these 2 kids that they raised until a certain point. Like that's a huge adjustment for the kids as well.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And, I don't know. I feel, maybe this is why Raina is lying. Because maybe Raina feels a little out of sorts here.
Maybe she's looking for some attention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
all right.
Anywho, well, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week with the 3rd episode. We will continue to watch this show.
Try to be more open-minded.
Yes. We cover Sister Wives. That's our Monday show. And then we also cover, various documentaries and other things. We're actually going to be covering a podcast on Thursday this week called Lucky Boy. It's been really interesting. So, yeah. And if you enjoy us, enjoy what we have to say, then you can check out, we have a Patreon. Go check us out there. You get all the shows ad free. You get a weekly bonus. And then if you're part of the $8 tier, there's some extra things you get there as well. You can follow us on social media at PsychLegalPop. If you haven't and you enjoy our show, please give us a rating. Those ratings really do help us, and it helps reach more people. And yeah, subscribe, share it to a friend or two or three. Yeah, and I think that's it.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, ladies. When you've done the work, you want your hydration to do the same. Introducing new Gatorade Lower Sugar, now with no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. And 75% less sugar and all the electrolytes of regular Gatorade. Now available nationwide.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hi, I'm Pace Case.
And I'm Bachelor Clues.
We host Game of Roses, the world's best reality TV podcast. We're covering every show in reality TV at the highest level possible. We analyze The Bachelor, Love is Blind, Perfect Match, Vanderpump, and anything else you find yourself watching with wine and popcorn.
We break down errors, highlight plays, MVPs, and all the competitive elements that make reality TV a sport. And we interview superstar players like Bachelorette Caitlin Bristow and Big Brother champion Taylor Hale.
If you want to know so much about reality TV, you can turn any casual conversation into a PhD level dissertation. You definitely want to check out Game of Roses.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.